Welcome everybody to Legendary Tales. My sound appears to be low. It does actually appear to be low. Um, if somebody wants to give a recap real quick while I try and fix it, that would be great.
I wonder who will give the recap. So Kuzma and Rep Rap took some soul weed, went on a spirit journey to go find a good way to petition the voice of Jingle. Went and had said spirit journey, went into a circus tent, and just met Jingle directly. Knows what we need, where it is, asks what happens if we fail. So we basically Rep Rap said, if we fail to find the thing that we need now, we are just going to have our harder task ahead of us because we still have to try. Rep received a coin from Jingle to deliver to Jingle's voice, which will be with the Soulforged that we seek. We were pulled to a new location in the Warbands Peninsula, north side of it, where Rep experienced a vision with Kuzma of Kuzma's end, and that was very. I'm gonna say emotional, but still robot. Um, that's about where the vision ends. Um, so from there, we decided to charter a ship to get to the island in the crag that we needed to be at. That's the island in the middle, I believe, the larger island in the middle, not the volcano.
Mm-hmm.
We actually wound up getting Captain Saltai's ship and got on there with the pirate captain. And on the way, we were actually spotted an Artstadian ship, which it turns out was the head of a fleet, about 16, 15 or 16 ships. Blew it up with a sea mine that Captain Saltai happened to have. Then arrived at Stell, which it turns out is occupied. So we are going to be going into Stell in disguise, and meanwhile, Captain Saltai and his men are going to be prepping all the ships at the dock, the invading Artstadian ships, so that if they try to leave the dock, a plug in the bottom of their boats will come out and they will immediately start sinking. And that's where we left off. Rep Rap made them a boring drill for boring. It was not a flamethrower.
It was not. Wait. Did that get even worse? What the fuck? Okay. I gotta fix this. Okay. So that's where you guys are at.
There you go.
How about now? Is that better? Oh, geez. Oh, I don't actually know what happened there. It just started working again.
Well, we heard the cracklies of a cable that was not quite plugged in correctly,
Oh,
so
there you go. I guess that
probably
solves
plugged
it.
in the cable correctly.
Yay. Um, okay, you guys are currently on the you guys have gotten off the ship. You're currently on the docks at Stell. And what you're seeing is a ton of ships have just are anchored in the docks at Stell, and you sort of see a lot of like Captain Saltai's ship is like sort of half submerged, and you see a bunch of like ripples come from the water as if his troops are moving out. Um, what are you guys doing? It's currently in the middle of the night, and you can see people holding torches and all sorts of other stuff everywhere. None of them appear to look like Inquisitors. And the way that this dock is laid out is you have a bunch of sort of like two warehouse buildings that are fairly large, that have some rudimentary, some basic cranes on them, some pulley system type cranes, that are closer to the boats. And then from there you start moving inward. You have a lot of like the town is built on stilts because the tide in this area tends to get very high and very low very quickly. So a lot of the buildings have been known to be hit by large waves. So they built everything on stilts so that they're a little bit higher, and then there's catwalks everywhere, and then until you get farther inland, and then it moves around quite a bit as well.
So it's not just me where he's going up and then down and then up and then down and then up. Yeah, so your mic is rapidly changing volume.
Okay, let's try it. Let's try it now.
I mean, that's the louder volume, but
Well, okay, it's doing
now
it
you're
again.
quieter.
Okay.
You might just need a new audio
Seems
cable or something.
and I have a cable somewhere, but I'll fix it during the break. Because
Okay.
This is actually getting out of control right now. Okay, but either way, yeah, Stella's built on stilts because they have a lot of water issues. So, yeah. So what are you guys doing?
Do we wish to end this occupation, or simply move through quietly to get to Harntier?
I believe Saltai will end the occupation. We should get to Harntier. If they have any spies or scouts that are moving ahead, we want to beat them. Or it's even possible that this is all a diversion and there is someone else further along already.
So to Harntier. The lizard folk are being uncharacteristically quiet today.
Harntier makes sense.
Is it too cold? Is it too cold? Do you need a warm rock?
So, you guys are sneaking around the outside of the town. What exactly are you doing? Oh my gosh, that was very loud. Sorry.
I think if we're trying to go as unnoticed as possible, just we probably don't want to like just march through the gate. We probably just want to go around town to the far gate and see if we can hire from the stables on that side. Most likely.
Okay.
I'm not in charge. I'm not running this thing. I'm just throwing a suggestion
Fair
out there.
enough.
The robot thinks to himself quietly.
You guys look around and
I don't think buttons.
go and make perception checks for me, please. If you can hear me. Freaking crap.
Rick, I can hear you.
Doo-doo fart.
Ooh, I got a 20 and I still rolled less than someone who rolled a 10. What? Nice. We're all very receptive except for the robot who is currently in his own brain.
Holy crap. 2 nat 20s? That's crazy.
I still rolled less than Madar who rolled a fucking 10.
That's very... He has a minimum of 10, though.
Vidar sees what you did over there, and also over there, and also in the future, and also in the past, and also over there.
As you're looking around, the actual stable area is actually on the inland, and you have to sort of climb up a hill and get over the hill to the other side of where the buildings are in the main town. So, unless you want to go back around to the road where it's like mainly occupied, or you want to go completely around and that would take a very long time, I'm going to need some athletics checks, please.
Athletics, or can we do acrobatics if we're dex based?
Sure. So you guys start climbing up the hill, and it's one of those sandy beach, like, plant-filled hills, and you're able to get a bunch of stuff on. Vidar and Sabas jump up the hill fairly easily, get to the top, and yeah, you can see down the hill that it's just occupied. No one has been killed. There's no, like, craziness. And then just outside of that, there's a large, like, farm area. And in that, there's a bunch of horses in a long stable. You can actually see because the town is not exactly modern. It's a little bit ramshackle.
So there's like, it's not fully occupied yet. There's no like gas going on. The stables seem to be maintained by whoever normally runs the stables right now, and we don't see anyone that looks like they're from Artstadt.
No. What?
We should probably try to go get horses quickly.
Agreed.
Leave the town.
To the stables.
You guys make your way over to the stables. It takes a little bit longer because the soil here is very sandy, and my levels are all-time low. Let's see if this works. Does that work? Is that better? And man, if it gets loud, it's gonna get really loud. Hopefully not. Or okay. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Okay. At least I can maintain this. Hopefully for a little while. So as you move inland, the sandy's terrain soil becomes a little bit more rocky, a little bit more dirt, and you go to get around to the stable, and there are horses tied up in here. But if you want to make an animal handling check, that'd be great. Whoever's looking, or if you're looking for something else, let me know.
We disguised before we got off the boat, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Is there someone working the stable at the front?
So, technician, there's something wrong with these horses. They don't appear to be normal.
These are not normal horses.
Are you actually going into the stable or no?
Yes.
As soon
Can I investigate or okay? Nope. Never mind.
as you're going into the stables, everyone going with him, or is anyone staying outside?
I'll go with them.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay right as close as I can to going in, but not actually go in, because when he says the horses aren't normal, I don't like that.
As soon as you get in, you're looking at these horses, and you realize that they are not necessarily skinny or malnourished, but they look to be lean in a way that doesn't fit horses particularly well. They are the size of horses, but as you get closer, they are actually elk. But they only have like little tiny horns that come up. They don't have like the full antlers. So they looked strange from a distance, and now you get closer, they're actually like elk and not horses.
Oh, I see. These are not horses. These are venison.
Do they already have like saddles and reins on them? Are those like hung in the stables nearby?
All the tack
Are there
is
none?
all the tack is hung on the far side of the stable near the entrance.
How many elk are there?
7.
Can I investigate for sleigh bells?
There are no sleigh bells.
It's worth a try.
Is there a sleigh?
There's not a sleigh.
I mean, he's not going to
I
leave
go
the
and try
sleigh
to-
up in the open. You look for the sleigh bells. This is anyway.
I go and try to grab some of the tack and bring it to the one that technician's standing there and see if I can find a way to get the equipment on the elk.
You've probably seen this done, but you've probably never done it yourself. Will you make a animal handling check, please?
Sure.
Only rolling crits today, I see.
It's going to be a feast or famine episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I have a feeling that this is going
There's
to go
gonna be we're
downhill.
at a real good time. There's gonna be a break, and then we're gonna come back, and everything's just going up.
Yep. So yeah, the elk are actually, according to you, surprisingly easy to put tack on. They're quite docile. They're not as temperamental as horses can be. They do appear to not really care that you're there in the first place for some reason. But yeah, you have successfully put
love-
tack onto an elk.
I go and walk up to like, I assume there's like a front counter or something. And I drop 2 gold on the counter and grab 3 more tack and work with technician to try to suit up 3 more elk.
Just so you know, I've been rolling real low, so this is going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I mean, you saw me do it. I've already done it once.
I now know it in theory, but they can smell you and they could be like, oh, biological things. This is fine.
Technician, go ahead and make an animal handling check. Not. Oh,
all right, yeah, not
there
terrible.
you go. You guys are able to attack the rest of the horses or the rest of the elk, really easily. Yeah. So you now have 4 elk that are fully kitted for you to leave.
Technician, you think 2 gold is enough for 4 elk, for however long we might end up using them, right?
Probably 2 gold is a lot to most people here. I imagine somebody will be very, very concerned that they were checked out without record, but I'm sure they will be fine. If not, they will become venison. Delicious, delicious venison.
How would you know? Never.
I have heard it described as delicious. All living things that are animals are made of meat, Lorchik. This is meat. This is a large meat. You are riding a large meat.
It's a large meat riding a large meat.
So you guys successfully send yourselves out. You're on your way. Are you heading out I assume you're heading out the back of the stable, right? There's 2 ways to get in there. You head out the opposite direction, and you sneak off away into the night. Where is... Okay, I need to recenter that. There we go. And then my scale is up there. It's going to take 2 days to get to Harntier. Are you guys staying off the road because that will slow you down a little bit? Are you staying on the road? What are you doing?
Are there any signs, since we're exiting the non-port side of town, are there any signs that the occupation has made it this far yet? It seems like they just arrived and they had started bleeding into the town. Are there any signs that the road might be dangerous?
As soon as you leave, there are signs that the occupation has gone a little bit inland, probably at most gotten to that crossroads. Maybe with a forward party, they may have gotten to the crossroads, but you're not sure.
I think we should take the forest around the roads and see if we can break out ahead of them. That way we don't cause any.
We could also stay to the
Yes,
river.
sir.
If we stick to this bank, it will take us directly to Harntier.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Lorchik, you seem very adept at handling an elk. Do you believe they are good swimmers?
I'm very good at handling meat in general. That has nothing to do with swimming.
You could just say you don't know.
Would that be as fun, technician?
No. Good point.
So,
lead on, meat handler.
are you guys sticking to the river or are you going in the forest?
River.
Okay. So you stick to the river. It's a little bit more cold there. And as you go along the river, it's sort of off and a little bit down. There's like a sloped bank that goes there, but the elk handle it marvelously. Horses, I don't think, would do as well on this type of terrain. And you're able to go along the thing, and every once in a while you hear people talking or shouting or whatever because they ride past you on like actual horses. Yeah, and needs the first day, high or low?
Low.
Okay. The first day, you hear a bunch of yelling and people talking to each other as you pass along the road, but you don't, and it's exclusively an Artstat accented common. And you successfully make it right to essentially right. You pass the crossroads, and the crossroads is a large sort of military settlement that is essentially a wooden keep surrounding and connecting to a bridge that goes north to Ixval, and then the one south of it goes. The road just goes straight through. But normally you'd have to go straight through, and you guys are sort of caught. That either you have to go around the town, around the keep on the south side, or you can try and break your way into the keep, because the fort itself has the bridge integrated into the structure. So, and the bridge actually cuts off the ability to pass by the river.
So we're clear. Can we tell if that bridge/fort is currently held by Artstat?
Go ahead and make a perception check real quick. There does not appear to be. They have large flags that have the big symbol of the crag on them, and the soldiers on the top of the walls do appear to have the colors of the crag as well.
The fort appears to be friendly. We probably do not have any business trying to break into it.
I agree. And they also seem small. I'm sure we could handle them if we need to.
So what's your plan? Are you going to go through the keep, or are you going to go around it?
Sounds like around it.
Okay. It takes you about 40 minutes to get around the outside of it, because it's quite strange the way that they built it. And you're able to get fully around it. And that's the second that you get around it, that's when you hear the sort of like the horn blow when they see the forces of Artstat coming up on them. And this is basically at the end. Basically, you've ridden all through the night, and the sun is rising. So when you see the colors of the crag and the people on there, they're very, very much as soon as you walk past, like around the fort, you can definitely see that those are people from the crag. And as soon as you leave, you get about a half mile out, you hear the horns blowing as they recognize the Artstat troops, and the battle has begun for the crossroads. So what are you guys doing right now? Because you guys are coming up on a level of exhaustion if you do not rest relatively soon.
What are the amounts of forces on both sides?
Currently, the forward force is about 300 from what you counted, like just passing them along the river. The vast majority of them are not on horses. The actual forward force on horses past you, there's only about 6 or 7. And then the actual forces are about 300. And then there's an auxiliary on the ships of about 600 total.
I mean, in the current fight of the fort right now.
In the current fight of the fort, you could probably estimate relatively like 200 or 300 people in the fort itself. So it's an even fight until the auxiliaries show up.
Sabas, you seem interested in this battle. Are you concerned that we should level the playing field?
A little. Some part of me thinks we should, but we do have greater goals in mind.
Indeed, we do not know if reinforcements are coming for the crag, but we do know that they are coming for Artstat, and we may just be delaying ourselves for an eventual guaranteed loss. our greater
We
goal.
are.
We know that we can win if we move quickly.
That being said, I need some rest. Sabas, you might need rest. And one well-placed grenade might level that playing field long enough to give us an ample buffer while we're resting.
That was my thought as well.
And well, I have my own spell casting. It will reveal our presence if we, well, my presence at least, among you, if any of them live. But we are each worth more than 5 men. We can turn this fight.
Okay. So are you
All
guys
right.
are you guys
Sounds
gonna
like we're
go?
going to the fort.
Are you guys gonna go into the fort?
We'll knock on
Sounds
the
like
gate.
You're gonna actually go
on
up to the
other
gate.
side that we're on.
Okay.
The back gate.
Okay, so you go up to the back gate, and there's one guy just chilling, looking down at you guys. He says, "Greetings."
Hello. In disguise as phalanx. Hello. We were sent to reinforce you. There are soldiers that would like to bring fuck. We would like to bring the fuck to them.
He looks down at you. The more the welcome, the more the merrier. Come on in. And he opens like a side door that's like very, very well reinforced, and it opens. And this massive man with he's got a great axe opens the door. And as you guys are like going into the fort, another man comes up, and he's basically a blonde, like 6-foot human with a dog. And when I say dog, he has like an actual dire wolf at his side. And he walks up to you. He says, "Who are you? Why have you come to my fort?"
We were just passing through, but we looked. We saw that a fight is about to happen. We decided to render assistance.
Assistance is welcome. Are you from here? Because I do not recognize you.
No, but we are no friends with your enemies.
Fair enough. Okay. What?
May I parlay with the enemy?
I don't think so. The battle has already begun, and you can actively hear people yelling, and like you can hear arrows and things like that already happening. Do you need to be on the wall or something? If we
Yes,
get,
that would be
if we get
ideal.
you onto the wall.
Yes.
Okay.
I would prefer the field, personally.
You appear to be a fighter. And he walks over to Loershik, and he looks you up and down. Wait a second. He looks at closer. And he has a long braided beard, and he takes it and he strokes it, and he goes, "What a day of fortune. Don't worry. Come with me." And he looks at the four of you, and then you know for a fact that he knows who you are.
Savash just smiles and then pulls out a dagger and follows.
Rep Rap is going to turn to the other three and just say, "Do not move out until you see my signal. You will know it. You will remember the noise. Wait for the noise."
The noise, not the many noises.
The commander looks at you and he says, "Okay, I have a way to get out. That I want you to come around the side." And as you guys are coming up on the big courtyard in the keep, you realize that there are about 15 elk riders, that all of their elk has like full barding, like full plate barding on it. And these are the ones with massive antlers. And all the antlers have like additional like metal prongs attached to them, and they're really big. And then the actual like elk riders themselves have giant glaives, and they also all have bows as well. and they're all just looking down at you, like, and they're all dressed in like the standard crag, like fur on top of plate mail on top of like everything else, and these guys look ridiculous. If you were to fight one-on-one, you guys would probably actually lose the fight against elk riders, because the elks do elk strength is probably insanely massive. And he's like, as soon as you hear the horn for the charge, go out this door. And there's like this little tiny door that's about 2 feet wide, 2 feet tall, that you can squeeze through. And he says, this will bring you onto the beach of the river. I want you to charge over the river onto the side and hopefully get to the rear, because it looks like they have clerics and healers on the back line, and I want you to go kill them.
I was just gonna look at Vidar and go, this is our specialty.
Whatever he has planned, I assume is going to be quite devastating for the enemy. So...
Also loud. You may want to cover your ears. Hearing damage is the leading course of deafness.
Savis looks at Tradition and goes, make sure not to hurt too many people that are on our side.
I will try.
They do appear to just be sieging it. Like they have a bunch of people that are like they're bringing. As soon as you get onto the wall, I assume you guys are gonna squeeze through the little door on the side of the keep, right? To get to the outside on the bank of the river. Loershik, Sabis, and Vidar. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try to stay near whatever door would lead straight out to the front.
Okay, so you're gonna be with the elk riders?
I'm not nearly as sneaky. Yeah.
So I believe I can move faster than literally everyone else. So I would like to go around very wide.
Okay.
I
think you and Vidar have the same speed, actually. So
I'm 50 feet.
You're at 50 feet? Damn.
I'm 50 feet.
That's crazy.
Skirmishers of fun subclass.
It is. So yeah, you two sneak out the side of the keep, and you're basically sneaking along the river. It's so loud that you guys could literally just walk and no one would hear you, and then you're just far enough down on the bank that no one's going to see you anyway, because the door itself is like displaced quite far enough in that unless someone is over here looking, they're not going to see you. And even then, you guys you don't have to really roll for it. You're just stealthy. So that being said, Loershik, basically you're literally with the elk riders, like standing there just waiting, because they're in a line of 3 and they're 5 deep, and the commander is also with them, standing next to you with his direwolf. And Technician is like climbing up on. You get onto the walls, Technician, and you see like just a ton of people that have gathered a distance away, but there's a few that are like trying to move in with shields up and everything. Make a perception check for me, Technician. Because the walls are
While
about...
he does that, do I have to wait for initiative to hold an action?
No. It's basically on the first round. Depending on what's happening, you can go first. You can get surprised. It says there's loads of reasons that you just... What are you trying to do?
I just want to hold a castigator attack, a ranged castigator attack.
So you just like...
In case...
You just got it just ready in case someone's right there or something?
My expectation is that, knowing I've seen Technician throw things, I've seen Vidar throw things, that if he does throw a grenade, it might not get to where it's going. I want to use my castigator attack to baseball swing it closer to the enemy in case it falls short.
Oh, so you're literally like, you could use your ranged attack to do that, or you could actually physically bap it away from you if you had to. So you're just ready for if something happens.
Either way, yep.
Technician, what exactly are you doing while you're up on the walls? Actually, do I have music for this? I might have music for this.
Specifically, I am trying to figure out my cone for Cone of Fuck, where I can hit the most amount of art stadions ideally without catching too many Kragians.
Well, there are no crag outside the gates right now. Everyone is inside.
Everybody's behind a barrier.
Everyone's behind a barrier. And the art stat are trying to move in with shields forward to stop arrows from killing people and try and get to it.
So they're in a phalanx formation. Is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
Okay. So is it a turtle phalanx or a regular line phalanx?
It's currently there's like a forward set of people that are turtled, and then the rest of them are not. They're just standard, like just trying to prevent people from getting hit with arrows.
Okay. We're gonna aim for basically right behind the turtles.
Okay.
Just
So
right
when
behind
they
it.
get close enough, you're just gonna yeet. Just go.
Yeah. We're
go
gonna do a conjure barrage.
Okay.
with a grenade.
It's gonna be devastating.
Yeah.
Sabis and Vidar, you guys have made it quite significantly a distance out. So you're about parallel with the river and the formation that's currently moving forward. You can sort of feel, because they're all literally moving as a formation, so you can literally feel the ground vibrating a little bit, and like sand and little rocks are like falling down the bank with you, with the amount of people that are here. 300 people is a lot of people to have in one place. So, what are you two doing?
So, is there just one large group of phalanx, or is it like multiple? Is there like a healers group? What's the formations we're looking at here?
Go ahead and make a perception check, both of you, please. It's insane.
Well, Vidar can relay to me what's going on.
Vidar, as you're looking at it, you can see that you're sort of looking up. You guys are sort of perched on the bank, and you're looking at it, and you can see that there are not only healers like in the front, like all of their clerics that they have here are war clerics, every single one of them, and the vast majority of the front line is made of these people. But Vidar, right in the middle of it, they have a person carrying a long wooden pole that has a round black object on the front of it.
Savas is sort of got dust in her eyes and sort of up and goes back down and looks at Vidar and goes, "What's going on?"
Someone over there has. Do you see? And then point out to the. That looks like it may be an issue. By any chance, does this look familiar? Like it might be like a relic of Moonball kind of thing?
No. This looks like...
So we're not going to get Neil Hunded here?
No, it looks like Bolo Tech.
Okay, so large explosive. That's not ideal.
So essentially the person carrying it appears to be a sapper. And
Okay.
sappers destroy fortifications. I don't know if
Yes.
you guys know that, but that's like a general term
It
for...
sounds like what he has is a very large petard.
Yep.
Yeah. Sabas is going to sit back down, unfold her crossbow, slap in the bolt,
Oh, no.
and go, "We have one person that looks suspicious. I have one bolt."
We should also be careful. It's possible that technicians' a plan may set that off and disarm it anyway.
So technician is going to do that regardless of what we do. I vote she's going to hand over the crossbow to him and then pull out her arcane focus and go, "I can make the ground tremor and make some of the shields stumble. He'll blow everything up. You kill the funny stick man, I guess."
Okay.
This does seem like it might be a good option for when things begin.
Okay,
We shouldn't act too soon, though, in case technician is not yet prepared.
No, we act when technician acts.
tensions are getting high. Okay, so you guys...
How far away am I from, like, the main shield wall line?
You're about, I want to say 20 or 30 feet. So you're not super far, but you're also not really close enough for them to pay attention to you.
Okay.
So what would you like to do?
When all hell rains loose and we can commit carpet bombing, Sabas is going to move forward and cast Earth Tremor on the center of the party when she sees the barrage starting.
Okay.
Basically trying to time them to hit at the same time.
So technician, what are you doing?
Is our phalanx, is the back of the phalanx just in range?
It is.
Okay, I'd like to yell down to the phalanx, "Hey! Guess what?
You hear that one random guy go, "What?"
You really want to know?
Maybe.
Fuck you.
As soon as you yell "fuck you," time for every single person. Like literally, Loershik, you look back at the commander, and literally time slows down for literally everyone just for a second. As technician, I assume you're throwing the grenade.
Yeah, grenades up in the air, casting conjure barrage on the grenade, aiming for right behind the phalanx. Do you want to roll or
No,
I don't know.
no,
Okay.
don't even roll for it. This is going to be purely cinematic in nature. And then Sabas, you hear him go "fuck you," and then you see the little black dot fly from his hand. I assume that you go ground tremor, right?
I was going to do that, then I realized that I forgot that Earth Tremor is a very short range. I'm going to do an acid line instead with Tasha's Caustic Brew.
Okay,
Just
so
on
you
the front of the shield wall. Basically just shocking them with acid real quick.
okay. And then Vidar, are you at the same time? Are you just yeeting that bolt right into him?
Yeah, aiming for the sapper.
Okay. The only person that I need a roll from right now is going to be Vidar, and you're going to get a ranged attack. So basically, just do a basic, ranged attack, with your proficiency, because this is a very, very simple weapon. I would consider this a simple weapon. It's just a trigger.
Yeah, it's really just a trigger. There's nothing special about it.
So go ahead and do a dexterity check. Do a regular dexterity check, but add your proficiency, your +5 to it. So give it +10. At advantage.
I only did +5, so that I guess is 24.
24. So literally, you see the Vidar. You're basically, you put the crossbow on your like sandy terrain, and you're like aiming right for him, and then you hear "fuck you," and you see that little black dot go, and you just go right, boom, and you let that bolt loose, and time slows down for literally everybody as the grenades start going boop, 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 and gaining. You see it rain down on them at the same time as this bolt flies, hits one person, removes part of their body, and then hits the sapper literally right in the chest. And you see a whole side of the formation explode as acid just goes all over. And then the disruption of the formation, because they're all looking to the right, the grenades start dropping. And you just hear it, a deafening explosion as all the grenades hit at one time. And literally the way that I picture this happening is Vidar shoots, Sabas throws acid, Technician throws bombs. As soon as you see the grenade out, you throw your acid and you shoot that thing. Both of you hit the ground because you already know that the lethal range of this thing that's happening is way past where you are. So both of you.
Sabas is like covering her ears, like huddling down, like "Dear God, please."
And Vidar, I assume that you hit the ground too, because it's just, and all those of Technician. Even you probably get down in the idea of shrapnel. And Loershik, you turn to the gate as you see just an insane amount of sand, dirt, blood, ass, and guts everywhere. Explode everything. And just for a moment after all of this explosions and noise happen, it's silent for 1 second before Technician stands up, the commander looks at you, and these two large men pull the gate open. And Loershik, you're sitting there ready to go, and you are not ready for the scene that you witness as the gates open. There is no one, not a single person alive in that formation. Everyone is dead. Every single person in the formation. There may be some people that are alive, but they don't want to be alive anymore because of the sheer amount of devastation that happened to these poor men. And right as you open the door, the petard explodes in the middle of the formation as you're sitting there, and their sapper died, but one of the war clerics in front of him lands directly on the sapper, which had like a pressure plate on it, and it just explodes even more. and one body basically flies over you and behind you into the gate. And literally, even the elk riders look down and they go. And the commander looks at you and goes, "What do we do now?" Like,
We go find the one that was in charge and take their head. You put it on a stick out front. That will deter the others.
the commander, the commander turns to Loershik and he looks up at the elks and he says, "Okay, stay. Come with me." And you and the direwolf and the commander go. Vidar, what are you doing?
Once it starts getting eerily silent and stuff like that, Vidar kind of peeks up over the edge of the sand, and probably at that point sees people coming out of the gate and starts walking to join them, while also scanning like over the carnage to make sure that there isn't anybody actually alive.
There are people alive, but you can definitely tell that they are not getting away.
No threats remain.
No threats remain at all. Literally, like, you don't even have to roll for it. You're looking over this giant just pile of what used to be existence, and it's just absolutely the worst thing. One of the worst things that you possibly could have seen, ever. Because it's like, yeah, there's degrees of loss of life, and this specific battle was won by just overwhelming amounts of force. And from the look of it, these are all regulars. Like, all of their armor and stuff are regulars. There were like 3 or 4 war clerics in there, a handful of paladins. There were no inquisitors, but the vast majority of these guys are just regulars. They're not elite. They're not special forces. They're not any of like the special units that you know of when it comes to the actual Artstat army. And they were not ready or prepared for anything that was about to happen to them. And the combination of you guys being on the side and everything and the grenades. The commander looks at Loershik and looks down at the carnage and he says, "I don't know about you, but I feel like we've committed a crime."
I understand that you feel that way, but them attacking you was a crime. There's no attack to be had.
You are right. Let's find this commander. They had to have someone. I am assuming they're at the front. And he just starts going through like shields, like moving shields around. And the people that are still alive, he basically has a long spear that he just gonna do you the mercy of letting you go right now. Every once in a while, and the wolf sort of like starts crawling over the pile, or like at least the mass of it, and he sits at one specific body, and the commander like pulls you over to with him, and you look down, and it is a strange creature that you may or may not have seen before. If you'd like to make a nature check or an arcana check, please. Vidar is also there if you would like to contribute. Vidar has sort of walked up from the side of the road, from the beach. Loershik, you're looking down at this absolute mess, and you realize that they're being led by a literal demon commander, so a devil. They had a what are they called? Give me a second. They're not chain devils. The one I'm trying to think of is fiend. There was a small sort of not small, but like medium-sized. Where are they? Cambion. So they're like a sort of relative to a succubus, but they have like a full plate mail on, and just absolutely devastated. The red skin is annihilated. Like, everything about it is completely dead, and they're wearing art stat colors. And the commander looks at you and says, "Okay, so we know they are dealing with demons now."
I feel like we suspected that for a while, given their relationship with Moonball.
And Sabas, after grabbing your crossbow and coming back up, you meet and you see the body of this Cambion, this sort of devil lieutenant type character. And from that, you can actually see like all of these, all of the corpses are absolutely destroyed. And yeah, there's literally no one alive, and the elk riders have dismounted and they're walking around making sure that no one else is alive. Technician, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm not actually going to do that because I googled that and realized there's no way that is stream appropriate. Uh, Rep is going to I guess start talking about refortifying and or the aspects of psychological warfare that can be employed from this act to prevent future attacks, but also stating to anybody around that's willing to listen that we do need lodging for the night.
The commander looks. The commander calls you down after you guys do this, and he talks to all of you, and he says, "Okay, so you need to stay here for the night. I feel the auxiliary army is going to be up here before long, or it could be long. We don't know. But I will be along with my men, and we'll be burying them just out front, or just leaving them. We don't know. The problem is disease at this point. So, if we leave them, that makes it difficult terrain."
Let them see the carnage when they arrive.
That's what I am pointing to. If anything, we can spread them out farther.
It might be best to use their remains to make ramparts. The bones can be especially pointy.
You're not wrong. If there are bones left. And he looks at his men, and he takes you guys over to a small sort of barracks area, and he says, "You can stay here. There are a few beds in the back that we do not use, but stay there, and then come find me when you're going to leave, and I'll make sure that you have a way to get out. But we are going to go deal with this mess. You guys rest." And over the entire duration of the day, you can see that they basically leave them for the most part. They take the shields and stuff and put them in like really weird places, awkward, like to get over ideas, because a lot of their shields were tower shields, so they're the really, really tall, basically from ground to head shield. And what they do is they bury what they did for the whole day pretty much is a lot of the people that were not going to be actively involved in combat have dug holes, and then they half buried the shields in there. So what they've done is they've made these like those potholes everywhere that when they step on the shield, it will break and they'll fall into like a 6 foot long, a 6 foot deep hole that has spikes at the bottom of it. So they made
A Burmese trap with a shield. Yeah, nice.
And there were like 60 or 70 shields, so whoever comes up there is about to have a really bad time. Especially if they're on horses, because that would be even worse. Like, it would be devastating. So, but that's what they do over the entire day. I assume Vidar and Technician, you're just sitting watching because you don't really have to rest or whatever. Lorshik and Sabas, you sleep through the entire day easily, relatively. Like, every once in a while you hear yelling or whatever, but that's just part of being at the fort. And
Fort got spooky all of a sudden. Heads up.
Uh-oh. Spoopy music.
Vidar, while they're sitting there resting or whatever, Vidar is going to hand Technician the grenade that he's had since they stole them from the beginning. Say, I found this, and now that I see that they can have good use, you should probably have it. Better in your hands than
Oh,
mine.
excellent. I was lamenting the loss of my last grenade. I suspect this is not the last army we will face. If only I could get more grenades.
We just need a technician on top of like a 100-foot tall tower, just like a bucket of grenades. It's like all we need.
That won't happen for very specific reasons that I'm sure Devin doesn't want to get into right now.
Yeah, it's called game balance. So as you guys rest, you wake up. You're 8 hours later. As the sun begins to set, it's actually quite beautiful here, because the mountains on this island are actually southern. So from the very moment the sun rises to the very moment the sun sets, it's actually very sunny, and it takes a long time for it to set, where rather than like where you guys are originally from, specifically the main island of the crag, it sets very, very early in most days. Here it actually doesn't set until like 2 or 3 hours after it sets in your normal island. It's actually quite nice. And the commander, as soon as you guys wake up and you get set to head out, he sort of comes over to you and he shakes your hand. Technician, he says, "That was quite devastating, but you have won us the battle for the time being. I have sent for reinforcements from Ixval, and Harntir does not have soldiers, so they will be arriving late, but we will hold out for as long as we can. And also,
It may be to your advantage to spread word of what happened here to dissuade the enemy from further attacks."
fair enough. If we end up losing the battle, we will be retreating to the east. There's a river a day's ride from here to the east. If we end up losing the battle, we will be there. I recommend that you divert yourselves on your way back to Stel. Divert yourselves through that area. We have a semi-permanent camp that we always keep just at the end of the Tipperary River, over that way. So, as soon as you guys make your way back up this way, don't come through here, because we probably will not have it anymore. So, stick to the road. Don't leave the road.
Understood.
There are creatures across the river from Harntir that are not particularly happy about us existing. So, and they do fly. So keep your eyes up when you can.
Understood.
And he looks at you guys and he says thank you. And you guys head. You make your way towards Harntir. I need a high or low, please.
Hi.
Go and roll it.
Yeah.
Holy shit. You want to talk about the most uneventful ride you have ever had? Like, literally, if I could describe a less eventful thing, like, you guys see, like, wolves and stuff along the way, but they literally don't even pay mention to you. You see, like, an owlbear pass by you, and it just ignores your presence. Like, literally, it's just, like, things that don't make sense happen because of how well that you rolled that.
Based.
And you guys eventually make your way to Harntir. Harntir is a very large fishing village, so it actually spans across the river, and it is very, 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 very pretty. It's very picturesque when it comes to crag infrastructure and how their houses are built and how everything looks. It's about a city of about 200 or 300 people total. A very small village for this area, but for the crag, it's fairly decently sized. Yeah. And I think we're going to go ahead and take a 15-minute break. I'm going to try and find my other cable that I have. And then we will see you guys in 15 minutes. Bam. have this conversation right now on stream. Okay, so Day Day, if you had to rate pancakes, waffles, and French toast of order from best to worst, what is your order?
Best is waffles because of variability.
I said Day Day.
Second
Is your name Day Day? No.
No, but I don't care. I'm inserting my opinion because Day Day's not here.
I meant Bisbee. I meant Bisbee.
I was very confused.
Yeah.
I confused myself.
I am a stand-in for Day as
Okay.
the last person who has seen Day.
Okay.
And
You're probably drinking away.
no, that is not what Day is
So
doing.
okay, so snack, pancakes, waffles, French toast in order
Waffles are
from
in the
best to
top.
worst.
Because their
Waffles are the
variability,
best.
Waffles are nice. Yes.
Ugh.
Yes. And then what? Shut the fuck up. Waffles are the best, and then it's French toast because French toast is its own thing. That's pretty good. And then it's pancakes. But pancakes are basically just flat fucking waffles. Like the sauce just falls off. Like what the fuck's the point? It's the same batter. But waffles, you have cups, little cups. You can put things in them like berries. It's chicken and waffle, not chicken and pancake. There's a reason. What?
Being dumb.
I am being dumb, and they asked me a dumb question.
Okay.
But it's clearly waffles that are the best, and then French toast because French toast is delicious, savory.
Yes.
Pancakes get soggy. So the fact that anything has a time limit when I'm eating it is fucking stupid, and people need to get learned.
You're not really wrong though.
Waffles are superior because they're 3D printed pancakes. That's all I have to
That's
say
not
about it.
wrong.
No, everyone's agreeing with you.
Stop. No, I'm not agreeing with you. Waffles
Or
are the
cereal
worst.
in general. I don't want to pour milk in and just be like, oh shit, gotta eat in the next 5 minutes, otherwise it's a disgusting sloppy mess.
Well,
That's why
you're eating
oatmeal
wrong.
is
You're eating
very
wrong
good.
cereal if that's the case. Get you some Captain Crunch or some. Get you something a little
Yeah,
bit
yes,
more hearty.
Captain Crunch, where they somehow make sugar more dense than sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
All right, now that
That's what they were saying.
Day Day's
Okay.
back, let's get back into this. You guys are
They just thought the
traveling.
conversation is over.
You guys are traveling to Harntier. You get to Harntier, the picturesque village, fishing village. What are you doing? What would you like to do? Do you want to go visit some of the people? Like, what is your plan? You guys are arriving in the middle of the night, by the way, because you have sort of decided that.
Lodging. And we head out in the morning for our last Soulforger.
Soulforged.
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 Soulforgered.
Sulfurged. Okay. Lodging. So you're able to find an inn fairly quickly. There's only one, maybe two. There maybe someone who's willing to let people stay there, but there's an actual lodge in the middle of the town, right next to the river. And it's quite large, and you're met with a small, a halfling is sort of sitting outside, and as soon as you guys ride up on your elk, he looks at you and he says, "Greetings. Are you looking for lodging?"
That would be nice if you have some available.
Of course. Yes, we do. So, here's what we'll do. Let's get you let's get your riding taken care of. I'll get one of the stable boys to come get it. And he runs back and he gets one of the stable hands to come take your stuff. And he takes you into the lodge, and it's a large log cabin, and there's a bunch of rooms all the way on one side, and then there's a big kitchen on the other side, and it's basically a normal tavern setup, but it's very more rustic, a lot more shaped logs and things like that. And you get inside, and he says, "Okay, can I ask why you're here?"
Before we answer that, when we approached, did we notice them like setting up any fortifications or anything that might none? I'll leave it to the technician. I just kind of gestured technician over Vidar.
We have heard great things about the eels here, and their powers for actually purifying water. However, we're also looking for a friend of ours. No trouble. We won't be any trouble.
Do I still have the compass? Or did I give it back to Lorishik?
No, you have it, I think, right?
I'm gonna just, the whole way, all the way from the gate have been checking the compass, kind of just slightly out of the corner of my eye, at least.
Every once in a while, it'll point in a direction, then it'll start spinning like they're very close. So they're in the vicinity. You're just not really sure where.
Do you guys have a mayor or anyone who is in charge of the town?
Yes, but pretty much everyone is already shut in for the evening. We can meet them in the morning if you'd like.
Yeah, that'd be pleasant.
Sure, sure.
How many days did it take us to get here total? It was two, right?
Two from Stel.
There was a very loud noise 2 days ago, maybe 1 day ago. Did you hear that? Was that a noise that you heard down here? We heard it on the road.
No, not really. Very, very little sound travels this way. I mean, we might have heard like lightning or thunder, but outside of that, not really.
In the town, in the lodge, etc., and so on, are there crag flags everywhere? Are there stat flags everywhere? Some other flag that we haven't seen?
They are. They are. All of it is crag. All of it. And he looks at you. He says, "Oh, it's 5 silver per night, by the way."
Per room?
Yes.
We want 4 rooms? 2 rooms? 8 rooms?
Just rent the whole place. Yeah.
How many rooms do you have in total?
Oh, we have 7 available right now.
And how many do you have currently occupied?
Oh,
You
just
don't
one.
mind me asking.
Just one.
I'll take the remaining 7 if that's all right.
Sure. Not an issue.
I give him 4 gold.
Oh, okay. He pockets it and he hands you 5 silver back.
I pull technician aside, assuming that Vidar could just like awkwardly stare at this guy long enough to keep him busy, and I say in my normal voice, like not trying to be quiet, but like back turned to this dude. So I heard the Hodioger might be coming to this island. Did you hear that as well? The technician.
I may
And
have
I
heard
reach over
something
and I
along
turn
those
his
lines.
volume dial to 11 while he responds.
I
The
may have heard something along those lines.
the little guy walks over to you and goes shh.
Is everything
What?
okay? So I reach over and turn his dial back down to where it was.
He looks at you and he goes
You
like
should
this.
stop fiddling with my knob, please.
Yeah,
I
stop
would
me.
like to-
He looks at him and he does this.
Rep will just turn it all the way down to like barely audible.
I-
little past barely audible.
We have one of the rooms is taken.
Ah,
Oh, they're here. The Hodioger are in that room. Oh, someone from Artstadt. Are you familiar with?
big hat. Big hat.
How I'm not quite tired yet. Have you eaten yet? Do you have any recommendations that where we could step out and get some food? Maybe you could come with us and show us the town really quick.
I absolutely could do that. We could do that. Absolutely. And he literally grabs like a small like coat and puts it on and starts walking with you.
Hey, I head outside.
Rep is going to turn to Flesh Render just real quick and be like, I'm not particularly hungry. Are you particularly hungry?
Perfect.
Are you going to pull him with you, Loishik, or what are you doing?
I assume he seemed pretty like excited to come along, like some food. He wants some food, so I put my arm around. He's small, right?
Yeah, he's
like,
a little guy.
I'm 6 something. I put my hand on his shoulder and just kind of arm around him and say, so how long have you been in Harntier? As I guide him out the front door.
He looks at you and he says, I've lived here my whole life. I inherited this lodge from my dad.
Well, it looks like you've done well with the place.
Thank you.
When we get outside, and the doors close behind, I say, are you friend or foe?
I'm friend.
I hand him one of my cards.
He pockets it. He doesn't even look at it. He just pockets it immediately.
How long has the gentleman been in this room?
2 days. He went out adventuring or like looking for something. I don't know what it was, but he just came back like an hour before you got here.
And are you guys aware of the occupation happening in Stell right now? We just dispatched a few hundred of their men at the crossroads. We bought you some time, but they are definitely going to be heading this way.
Oh, I know.
Is there any way we could go wake up the mayor?
No.
Is the mayor okay?
No. Let's just say hope the forces don't come this way.
Because you aren't protected? Or because the mayor is corrupt?
No, the mayor's dead. He was killed
How long?
just after the mysterious stranger arrived.
Okay.
So, but you need to know that if you leave without doing normal adventuring stuff, there are inquisitors in the trees, like past, and he literally looks out there and he goes, oh, so you see that over there? That's actually where we store and maintain eel populations and things. And then if you look just beyond that, that's the tree lines where the forest naturally only grows to a certain point and then it stops because the eels put off this weird energy that prevents plants from being grown in a specific area. If you look at the dirt, and he like goes on this whole thing, and he says sometimes they get really big, and he puts his hands up like he's saying wide brimmed hat. And yeah, just past the trees usually.
I look around for food. I assume I see a Benny's like all day breakfast cart with some like breakfast sausage and the superior pancakes. So I lead him over there and buy us some food, assuming I find one.
There is like a small like camp sort of set up right a little bit away, but it's like semi-permanent. And there are some guys cooking like some dinner type stuff. And they introduce themselves as sort of the eel fishermen or like the eel the eel population guys. And their whole purpose is to make sure that everything is good all the time because the eels apparently are quite temperamental. And if something changes in their environment and stuff, they can go either like they can have like all sorts of stuff happen. So they always have to have someone. And this is like their third shift essentially. And he's on his like sort of dinner break. And he's like, I made more than enough food for all of us. So come, sit. Sabas, have you been here the whole time or no? What are you doing?
This is following and mostly just trying to like, as soon as the Inquisitors and the trees are mentioned, basically just trying to try and see and keep track of how many there are.
You have no idea. because it's one of those things that they have assumed. You can assume that they have entrenched themselves over the last couple days, so you finding them is probably not going to be an option without magic, essentially. And even then, it might be hard depending on what they are. Because you've heard there are some like ranger cadre that can literally be invisible no matter what, and there's like some so it's literally one of those things that you probably wouldn't find them without magic. Vidar, what are you doing?
Just following along on the tour.
Okay, and technician,
I actually stayed back at the inn.
you're still at the inn.
Still at the inn. I actually thought Vidar was here with me. I guess not.
So what are you doing?
Having a conversation with himself, thinking he's talking to me.
Are you doing anything specific or no?
No, not if Vidar's not there.
Okay. So you okay.
Oh, actually, no. I'm sorry. You know what I do want to do? I would like to activate my little earpiece and Loerchik, what does the small gentleman know?
I assume at this point we're sitting with the fisherman.
Yeah.
I respond and just kind of like turn away from the group and say, keep an eye on the rooms. Don't let anybody leave, and let us know if someone attempts to. Just pretend that you're waiting for your owner or something to return.
Should this person be invited to supper?
It doesn't sound like it.
So that I am clear, supper, not where they eat, but where they are eaten.
It sounds like they have a bigger appetite than supper.
I see. So Rip Rap is going to be there in the front, sort of the front room of the inn. I'm guessing there's probably long tables, benches, things like that. Going to sit down on one of the benches and pretend to be powered off. Just appear to be powered off.
Okay. Go and make a stealth check at advantage. Two 16s, perfect. Yeah, you're very well appear to be powered off, or at least in rest mode or whatever, in sleep mode. You guys are sort of eating. Those of you that are eating, you do eat with the fisherman, right? Or you actually are gonna like eat a meal.
I'll eat with the fishermen. I'll hear what they have to say.
They actually make you a bunch of like eel. They have an eel, and the eel is massive, and then he's like sort of like cleaning it out, and then putting preservatives into it, salting it, etc., and then like some of the cuts of meat that he actually cooks for you guys. It's really, really good. And you also would know that this would be very, very, very expensive if you weren't here. Like hundreds of gold potentially.
How much do I owe you for this delicious meal? It might be the most delicious one I've eaten in a long time.
Oh, you don't. We get to eat this. So one of these goes every once in a while of old age or other things happening to it. As long as it's not diseased, we can consume it ourselves. So to us, it's free because we maintain it. So, so don't worry about it, friend. It's okay. So, he looks at you and he says, I assume that you haven't come this far to eat eel with me. What are you doing here exactly? And this is like the human male that is sort of just chilling. There's two of them. There's two guys here, and they're very clearly third shift fishermen. They have their whole what are those called? Waiters? Like the whole overalls that are sealed, right? Those are called waiters, right?
They're literally called waiters, yeah.
Okay. I was not sure if they had another name or something. But he's
a really dumb word to say out loud, but yeah, that's what they're called.
So they're wearing their waders and stuff. and they're like talking about the eel like container things that they do for it, because the whole lake is just basically not necessarily filled with them, but there's enough of a population that they can control it, and then they do like health checks and things like that. So why are you here then?
We were traveling to Stell from up north, and we got redirected because apparently something was going down in Stell. And I kind of like look out to the trees and look back at the fishermen, just to try to like make it obvious that we know.
Mm-hmm.
We were just trying to leave. We need to head back home, but we can't access the port, so we decided that we would come and check out the wonderful village of Harntir. We've heard wonderful things about your eels and their healing properties, so we decided to make the trip since we got redirected anyway.
Well, it's much appreciated. We could always use tourism and things like that. So, oh, well, you're more than welcome to stay as long as you'd like.
Is there anything happening in the town that you might need help with? You know, we are very skilled in combat and solving mysteries. Is there anything that we can do to support you guys while we're here?
He looks at the innkeeper, and they share like a knowing look, you know. And he looks back at you and he says, I believe we can. Actually, we had our mayor died of so-called natural causes, but I believe that this is a matter for the morning. I think that if we rest tonight and get up early in the morning, we can look into it better. And he put emphasis on look better.
Of course.
The problem is usually that...
meet you back here.
Yes. Well, I will be off, but I'm sure our lovely innkeeper can guide you with what you need.
Of course.
Well, you're more than welcome to stay here for a little while, and then I will see you when I see you.
I think that we might head back to the lodge. It sounds like, it seems like they might. I tap our friend on the shoulder. They might need some help back at the lodge with some handyman work that they've requested.
Oh yeah, of course. And yeah, you guys get up and you go back to the lodge where technician is very clearly either in rest mode. All of you are like, wow, he just went in rest mode just immediately. And then yeah, all of you go back to the lodge, and the innkeeper looks at you and says, okay, well, here's your keys for your rooms, all of them. And he gives you a set of 5 keys, and then he hands you 2 separate keys with the numbers facing outward, and doesn't say anything to you. Have a good night. If you need anything, I will be in my room. I live just above the kitchen, and there's like a small ladder that leads up to a very small door.
I hand him my shield and say, would you mind keeping this with you in your room? I don't like to keep it nearby.
He just sort of looks at you with a knowing look, and he says, sure, of course. And he goes, and he starts cleaning up for the evening, and making sure everything is good before he actually retires into his room for the night. What are the rest of you doing?
Sure.
Yeah, so Rep and Defender are actually going to stay right there and yeah, at the entrance, more or less.
Is this place super, super well lit, or is it kind of just like dim torchlight kind of lantern or whatever?
It's lit by small sort of candles, or actually here it would be small lanterns that are oil. They're oil lanterns that are like hanging from a sort of chain on the ceiling, sort of like chandelier, like a medieval fantasy chandelier.
Vidar is going to position himself in the opposite corner of the room that technician is in, and do his best to just kind of blend in,
Mm-hmm.
kind of find the darkest, shadowiest corner and hang out there.
So you're just trying to blend in and make it look like you're almost not there.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make me a stealth check advantage, please. Oh, Jesus. That's insane. Okay. That's just casual 33, you know? Just casually rolling a 33. What? That's crazy to me. Okay. So you sit in a sort of standby mode in the corner. Technician is are you just gonna remain there, just chilling where you're chilling in standby mode, but actually
Yeah.
like going into standby mode?
Yeah, actually going into standby. Yeah.
Sabas, what are you doing? Actually, no. Let's do Loreshik first because there's a reason. Okay, Loreshik, what are you doing?
He handed me the keys, right?
He handed you a set of 5 keys, and then he handed you a
And
second
then two
set of
separate
keys
with the numbers facing
with
out.
numbers facing towards you.
And we paid for 7 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I hand the keys very specifically. Like I lay out I assumed the 5 were like on a ring or something, and then the 2 were I put them in my seemingly large hand, and kind of hold them to Vidar and say, can you help me figure out what these keys are, what rooms these go to? Because I'm having a difficult time deciphering them, and just kind of hold it out so you can see how exactly it was handed to me. As he's like starting to morph into the wall because he's becoming the lodge.
Yeah, can I incorporate the building into my robot body?
Oh,
Are the rooms clearly numbered?
They
on
are.
the outside of the rooms. Vidar is just going to point at one of the numbered outward rooms. They're the keys, and be like, "I believe that this is your room." And then point at the room, and then point at the other key with the number out and say, "And this one is probably Sabas's."
So the 2 rooms with the numbers facing outward are the 2 rooms that are adjacent to the mysterious stranger's room. So they share a wall with the mysterious stranger's room on both sides. So one room is on one side, one room is on the other side.
I take the key ring and hand the 2 outward facing keys to Vidar. You're right. I think these are me and Sabas's room, and you and Technician can have these rooms.
We'll keep them safe.
I give Vidar both keys because Technician is pretending to be a doorstop. I look to Sabas. Do you have a preference on which room? And I kind of jingle the keys.
Not really. It's up to you.
Which I'll take whatever key is directly across from the stranger's room, and then give the rest of the keys to Sabas to hold on to, so she can decide from her buffet of rooms.
Okay.
Sabas will simply eat the keys. No. Sabas is going to choose one adjacent to the stranger's room. And then, I guess, pass them on to Vidar. Or Technician, whoever wants them.
Nope, Technician staying in the front room.
And Vidar is turned into the drapes, so she just says...
Vidar will at least hold on to the keys, though.
Okay. Vidar, become Drape.
Okay, so you guys going into your rooms?
Savas
I
is
will.
gonna-
I'll. But
You go first.
I'm gonna walk into my room and close the door behind me, and walk to the furthest corner away from the door, and quietly talking into the corner using my earpiece to Vidar. You should post up in the room next to our friend, and see if you can hear anything.
Was the corner that I was moving to hide into the shadows, is that a near those rooms, or is that like opposite corner from those rooms?
Let's say that one more time. Sorry.
So when is the corner that I was hiding in close to the rooms or opposite corner of the rooms near the stranger?
It would be. They share a wall, so it would be the closer corners. You could probably hear into it, depending on the insulation. They're both sort of exact opposites of each other because it's just a long hallway with rooms at the end, and they're all basically the same thing, just all the way down. He has the mysterious stranger has one of the rooms in the middle. So yeah.
Yeah, Vidar will actually go into the room next door to the stranger. The one that's closest to the exit, at least.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then Lorishik, where are you staying again?
Room across from the stranger.
Okay. And then
I
Sabas.
assumed that there was 4 rooms and 4 rooms, and he was in one, like the middle.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. And then Sabas, you're in the other adjacent room opposite of Vidar then. And Technician is still in the lounge area. Okay, perfect.
So, before Sabbath goes to bed, from my understanding, detect thoughts is a thing. What it sounds like, unless you try and probe deeper, they don't know what's happening. Like, you can detect thoughts and sense emotions and shit, and they won't know what's going on until you try to probe. I think that's the interpretation of it.
Let me check the raw.
I can put it in
on
the chat.
Detect.
I can put it in the chat.
Yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great.
I thought that was specifically to find tavern wenches that were twerking.
No. So what it sounds like is you can do the surface thoughts. And then if you decide to probe, then they start knowing what's going on. But other than that, you can use it as like a general like mood impression thing.
One creature that you can see.
There's a section further. You can also use a spell to detect the presence of thinking creatures you can't see. When you cast a spell or as your action during the duration, you can search for thoughts within 30 feet of you. The spell can penetrate barriers with 2 feet of rock, 2 inches of any metal other than lead, or a thin sheet of lead blocks you. But wood is not lead. So
No.
I can look into that room and see the thoughts. And if I do that, I don't think they're supposed to know unless I try and probe.
If you try and go deeper, that's the issue. Yeah.
Okay.
So one of it is that you know they're there, and the other one, if you can see them, then you can know what they're thinking. So.
But you can probably, even if you don't see them.
Yep.
You can continue with that. I'm not going to probe. I want to detect thoughts and know their service level thoughts. If there's someone in there. So actually casting it this time.
There is absolutely someone in there.
Okay. And what are their service level thoughts? The shallow bitches.
If I gave you, okay, I'm going to give you a 1-word description, because thoughts, at least in my brain, if you were to do detect thoughts on me, it would not make sense. I know that for a fact. But
it describes it as what is most on its mind at that moment.
Patience.
Okay. Savis is going to relay that telepathically to literally everyone in her party and go, the person in that room is thinking, be patient. I'm not probing deeper. He does not know I have read the thoughts.
Can we respond to that telepathic message or no?
Savis is going to detect thoughts and can move that between everyone. Basically, she can sense all of you fuckers, and it's going to start slowly moving that spell between all of you just to, like, give you all a chance to say something. You can feel it when she does.
I don't. Can you respond with your special psychic stuff?
Well,
I think so.
What I can no, you cannot respond telepathically with the way I am doing. What I can do is they can think of what they want to say to me while I'm detecting thoughts.
Oh, that's true. That's very true.
That's basically the way they phrase it. The way they put the feet is basically you can talk to people, but they can't talk to you unless you do this once a day. So Savis is going to start at probably Vidar, and then Technician, and then Wereshik, and just keep like triangle unless they say stop going to my brain or something like that.
Okay. So how do you respond, Vidar?
They are probably in there since before the occupation started, and they're waiting for backup forces to arrive. But if they're being patient, that might mean that we have time to act first.
That's interpretation, and then you can feel Savage just go droop out of your brain and moves on to Technician. Or I guess
we
whatever.
Shouldn't take any chances. We should not take any chances. Kill them with a pillow.
That is an option, and then Savis is going to move finally to Wereshik.
I can use my hammer to crush his skull while he sleeps.
Savis is going to go back to Vidar and say, the other two want to kill them. I am indifferent.
That sounds like a job for them to do then.
You have the mind daggers, I guess.
We would need to know for sure that the person is fully asleep.
Well, they're not.
Indeed, which makes sneaking up on them a lot more tricky.
Yeah, Savis is going to relay that information telepathically to them and then go back to Technician. We're playing around the fucking... never mind, ignore my brain. I can't talk right now, apparently. Go back to Technician.
Okay, so you did a round where you relayed that information, then you're coming back around to... Okay.
Yes, yeah, we're at you again.
Got it. You and Vidar can be very sneaky at times. Vidar literally turned into drapes not too long ago. I don't think it's out of reason for him to kill someone with a pillow, even when they're awake. Just stuff it entirely down their throat.
He has a knife. Okay, Savis is going to leave Technician's brain and go back to Wereshik.
Did you relayed what they've said to me?
Yes.
At this point?
Yes. Everything has been relayed. I want to spell last
If-
second. 1 sec. What is the duration? Where is your
1
duration?
minute. It's 1 minute.
Okay.
So you basically have
So
this
it's probably
interaction
the last
and that's
round.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If the drapes are unable to take care of him, then I can be on backup with my hammer.
So Tech Thoughts ends. Savis goes, can't hear you all anymore. Sorry about that. But, well, the general consensus is Vidar, quit being a bitch. You have a knife.
Laura Schick, will you make a perception check for me, please?
No. Just no.
No?
No.
Too late. I already rolled it.
Where's your backpack right now? I assume you put your
I
back.
dropped on the bed or something when I walked in.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
Patience. So there's 2 options, or 3 options. 1, patience for the army. 2, patience as in they know what we're up to and it is going to try and kill us. Patience as in they are a Soulforged and we are just fucking around and might be killing the wrong person. Because we did know that they're in this town, and then they've been around us. Like,
They're confirmed Archstadian.
that doesn't change anything. Let me the first time. Like, did we not go in deep into occupation and swoop grabbing fucking paladin out of there?
Yeah, the Blueberry Knight.
Yeah, the blueberry nade. Like, it would not be the first time.
I mean, I'm
Just-
still hanging out at the entrance. If anything, if somebody passes through there, that's an immediate wake everybody up and or like follow, like detain, annoyingly detain. There's always that option. Hello, new friend. I have 5,000 questions for you. You will answer all of them. I am blocking the door.
So, yeah, we can either like home invasion and like try and talk to them. Home invasion, try to kill, like hold them down, like fucking detain them. We can avoid both those options and just wait till
But
morning.
we're entirely split right now, so we need a way to coordinate first.
Yeah, Sabbath's just relaying all these thoughts, just like mindlessly. You guys can't fucking respond. You don't feel her in your head
Detect
anymore.
thoughts is already over, isn't it?
Yeah,
No, but
Oh.
I am a telepathic.
she is also a telepath. Yeah.
Okay, I got
It's
you.
it's just a one-way conversation where you actually just listening to Sabbath go fucking nuts and you can't stop her from talking. It's like there's 3 options. I don't know what to do.
Vidar's gonna open up the door to his room, walk out into the hall, and kind of bump Lorishik's door loud enough that he would be able to hear, and then open up the door to the stranger's room.
Sabbath is going to get out of her bed and open her door and stand in her doorway, just like watching this happen.
I'm gonna go and walk up to my door and just like kind of listen through the door, but not open my door.
Listen to. Oh, you're at your door listening outside. Okay.
Correct.
And
Sabbath
Vidar.
is
I just heard
going.
the bump.
Okay.
Yeah. Sabbath is casting her silent casting her shadow blade.
Okay. Oh, perfect. Laura
And
Schick,
then
will you make another perception
sitting
check for me,
quietly.
please? Okay.
What did we say? What did we say? Which is gonna roll 20s, and they're
feast
gonna
or
roll
famine.
ones.
Feast or
Wait, where's the
famine,
break?
baby. Technician, what are you doing?
Sabas has relayed that this is basically on at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sabbath is basically just going like, Vidar, 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 Vidar.
You also can't see Vidar. You don't know where Vidar has maintained his stealth check for this entire time, by the way. So you know he's out here, but you don't.
Sabbath is in the hallway. The door's open and nobody has said shit yet. So she's assuming that either Vidar or Trishna are in there, and it's probably Vidar, the sneaky one.
Yeah, yeah. With
Vidar, Vidar,
with the
Vidar,
33,
Vidar.
even a nat 20 will not get you that perception check. No shot.
No, I do not know where this man is. I will
No.
never find him. He is gone from this realm.
We could go for Brooklyn window yelling here. This would actually work, I think. Yeah. Okay. So Rep Rap is going to come out of sentry sleep and start like making the way over to the rooms.
Okay.
Excuse me. Some of us are trying to sleep. Why are you being noisy in this hallway? Just like sort of yelling into Sabas's doorway.
That was all telepathic.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe go back to like 5
Why
seconds.
am I being noisy in this hallway?
Are you actually doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm letting you guys know that this path will have to... Okay, we're just going to do this, but I'm going to let you know that we're about to get into something that will take a lot longer than the amount of time that we have left if you do this.
Oh boy.
So we're doing it, but this might be a short stream as a result, but I promise you the next stream will be sick as fuck as a result, okay? So, you yell, "Why am I being loud in this hallway?" The mysterious stranger's door opens. Whoom.
What do
Isn't it
you
already
want?
open? Wasn't it already open? Didn't Vidar already go in?
Vidar, did you try and go in the room, Vidar? Or no?
I was trying to open the door.
It is locked. Are you going to pick the lock?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead and make me a thieves' tools check, please. Oh, I was like, what, nat 20? So you able to get the door open, and as the door clicks open, it's pulled open. Oh, hello there, technician. Yvonne steps out of the room.
Gastric was probably right. All right.
And that's where we're going to end this episode of Soulforged, because we do not have time for this combat right now. So.
But what if we do?
Okay, what are you
Suicide bomb
proposing?
the tavern.
What are you proposing exactly, technician?
He did just get a new grenade, and this is a
Yeah.
confined space.
Yeah. No, everyone just is sensing Technician's intent and just like, fucking run.
No. We'll save it. We'll save it for next episode. Yeah, I didn't have anything. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope everyone had fun. Next week is about to get real. Next week is absolutely going to be real, so I hope everyone's available. But yeah, we will see you next week. Everyone, have a great week. Do the right thing. And we should see you on Tuesday. I think that's it for me. Anyone else have anything to say?
I do not. I am wordless.
Okay.
Feast or famine.
Feast or
Destroy an
famine.
army.
Feast or famine, baby. All right. Everyone have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Get off.